Hi everyone, welcome to the user lock tutorial. We will see on this tutorial how to monitor and protect Windows user sessions on workstations. We have seen on a previous tutorial how to install userlog and its initial configuration. To protect the workstations that are members of the selected network zone, the first step is to deploy a microagent onto each workstation. There are different ways to deploy the desktop agent. The userlog console includes an agent deployer with manual or automatic mode. We also provide an MSI package of this microagent that can be used with your own deployment enterprise solution. Lastly, you can also use a specific GPO administration template thanks to the MSI package. Let's deploy the desktop agent using the userlog console and its integrated installer engine. For this method, the only requirements concern two protocols that need to be authorized on the server and on the workstation's firewall. ICMP to allow the ping, and the Microsoft files and printer sharing for the deployment and the future communication between the server and agents. Display the agent distribution view. You will find here all machines that are members of the protected zone. Userlock regularly checks its protected zone to get all userlock agent status. Now start the automatic mode. This mode will deploy automatically the desktop agent on all workstations for which userlock detects that it's missing. Several options are available to manage the deployer behavior. By default, only workstations will be targeted. This feature proves especially useful if a new machine is added to the network zone userlock is protecting. It will then automatically be protected without having to do anything. After a short time, the userlock desktop agent will be installed on all workstations. Refresh the view and you'll observe new information is displayed, such as the agent status, version, etc. If your network contains some old XP operating systems, you'll note a status called installing. This status means that the machine requires restarting to validate the installation. You can wait for a restart to be done from the users, or you can do it yourself by selecting those machines and launch this restart. Higher operating systems are not concerned. From this moment, all Windows session events on your protected zone will be detected and logged in the userlock database. Let's now define the user session policy. Click on Protected Accounts. This view displays the userlock rules for user sessions. You can create a rule by organization or unit, user group or user account. Let's create a rule for Group 1. Click on Add Group. Enter the desired group and validate. A new line will be created on the view. By default, there is no restriction defined. Double-click on this line to open the properties and define the number of concurrent sessions allowed for Group 1. Define the limit by checking the Allowed Workstation Sessions box and entering the limit. Let's set it to 1 here. Validate by clicking Apply. The rules are applied in real time. Every user that is a member of Group 1 will now be limited to 1 simultaneous session on protected workstations. If a user tries to log on a second time on another workstation, it will be denied. Every message displayed to users can be personalized in the message section. You can enable two options. Allow to log off an existing session if the number of allowed sessions has already been reached, which will authorize a user to do a remote log off instead of being denied. Take note that the log off is forced. The welcome message can also be enabled. This is an informative pop-up display at logon that informs users on previous logon attempts with this credential: last logon time, last computer, and last denied login. Let's now define from which workstation this Group 1 can open a session. You can control the workstation from which the users that are members of Group 1 open their sessions. Doing so will ensure that a user opens a session from his department and not on a workstation he's not supposed to. The definition of these rules consists of a machines list, which can be authorized or denied. You can complete this machine list in different ways. one by one, using the name or the IP address of machine, thanks to the IP range, or by organizational units. Let's enter here the IP range authorized for this group. Select the concerned session type. Once validated, a user trying to log on to a machine that is not listed will be denied. To complete user session rules, you can choose the time range during which users can connect. The time restrictions offer several options: hours frame, quota, and actions to take in case of session inactivity. We will focus on the hours rule in this tutorial. In the same way as the workstation rule, you can state an authorized or a denied time frame. Click on Add. You can define the day and the hours during when users can open a session on the protected workstation. Specify the concerned session type. If necessary, you can enter several hour sets if you have different hour ranges for specific days. Users from this group will be denied if trying to log on during a non-authorized time frame. Users will be notified when the end of the authorized time frame is approaching and will be closed as defined. So what happens if a user is a member of more than one protected account rule? A department such as IT or help desk haven't the same needs as that of sales, marketing or administrative departments. An exhaustive policy protecting the Windows user sessions on workstations will allow you to request and create several protected account rules. This is adapted to secure your production environment without limiting other user rules. You can manage user lock behavior when a user is detected as a member of several rules. The server properties give you the option to apply the less or the most restrictive policy. Choose the one which is adapted to the policy that you have defined. Let's choose the least restrictive here, which is most adapted to our example. This means here that as we have defined a rule for the everyone group, we are sure that if a user opens a session on the network, it will be limited at least to one concurrent session. This is except if he is a member of the other group for which we have defined a higher limit. If for any reason you have to define an exception for a specific user, then you can create a rule targeting his user account. A protected account set for a user account will always override the group organizational unit protected account policy. For example, giving an unlimited access for the built-in administrator account will consist of creating a user rule and leaving it with undefined rules. The different reports available in UserLock can help you in your workstation user session policy. Take a look at the specific tutorial designed for this purpose. The next step is to complete your policy with the other session types that UserLog can monitor and protect: terminal sessions, Wi-Fi and VPN session, and web application sessions.